Is thrust possible in the vacuum of space?
So I'm going to run this model rocket engine in this giant vacuum tube and let you be the judge. And what this is going to do, I got this idea from the inside of a scroll compressor. And what this is going to do is not only hold our rocket in the center of the tube, it's also going to allow us to see how much force the rocket is producing. Model rocket engine in a vacuum.
Let's slow it down and examine what happened. What requirement is there for every action having an equal and opposite reaction? There's no medium of resistance to create thrust in the vacuum of space. Notice it doesn't start moving until there is a medium of gases introduced in the vacuum chamber, creating a medium of resistance for the rocket to propel forward. If the model rocket ignition was stopped right now, there would be no equal and opposite reaction. There would be no thrust. If the vacuum chamber had no walls, like space is claimed, there is only thrust when the exhaust gases create a medium which no longer makes it a mediumless vacuum chamber. So if a spaceship fires a propellant to move in space, what would happen? There is no walls to build up resistance. There is no air to push against in space. The propellant would shoot out the end and the spaceship wouldn't move. Let's look at another example.
I'm just going to put the flash paper inside the syringe and then glue the plunger so it can't come out, so the pressure can build up. Okay, got it hanging in there. Completely suspended. So after it's glued, the only way the gas can come out is through the tip of the syringe. Once the gas starts pouring out, it should send the syringe flying in the opposite direction.
Notice the gas comes out. The syringe doesn't move. And the gas bounces off the chamber wall, which you don't have in space, and bounces back to move the syringe. Space is not real. You can't have gas pressure next to the vacuum of space, as entropy would instantly suck all of our atmosphere to fill the available space.
That rockets can't work in space. In stage one of these two similar experiments, a balloon is blown up and it's placed in the place of rocket fuel, and it's attached to the straw and it's taped to a toy car. Now the balloon is released and the air travels through the straw and the car is propelled forward as expected. In stage two, the two scientists will try to disperse the air that's coming out of the straw to act as the vacuum would in space. Let's watch these two-stage experiments unfold and see what happens when the atmosphere is removed from the equation. The person on the right tries it with a vacuum cleaner and misses on his first attempt to get it in exactly the right spot. The person on the left makes a paper deflector to show that the opposite reaction is based off the fuel pushing off the atmosphere outside the vehicle. The person on the right tries a few more times with the vacuum cleaner, and on his fourth attempt he gets it in just the right spot and the car doesn't move. He misses again on 5, but on number 6 he places the hose just perfectly. And once again, the rocket car doesn't move even an inch. The contention is that this shows that the rocket is dependent on the atmosphere to push off of for its opposite reaction. The rocket needs an atmosphere to move. When we take away that atmosphere, the rocket doesn't move. On the left, deflecting the motion of the air rushing out of the straw shows that the opposite reaction needed for thrust is escaping fuel hitting the atmosphere. The person on the left releases the balloon, and the air rushes out and is deflected to the right and left, and the vehicle doesn't move forward. Rockets can't work in space.
If you haven't watched my videos showing that they faked Artemis 2, I recommend you give them a watch.